Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel, Become Better. In today's video we're going to talk all about the topic balance. Now, I think when it comes to life, when we talk about life and we think about life, balance is really important, and I think it's a really important skill to have. And it's not only just like a really important skill to have. Balance is also like so important when it comes to everyday life. For example, when it comes to what you eat, balance is really important. If you eat chocolate all day, that's very unhealthy. And I think balance, if you don't have balance in your life, it's sort of like you're not going to be very healthy. And I sort of really agree with that. Like, for example, with your diet and what you eat, you have to make sure you get a good amount of carbs, and then a good amount of protein, and then like a little bit of sugar, obviously, and then obviously your fruit and veg, and then like dairy products as well. And when you have like a balanced diet, then you're overall more healthy. Like if you only you ate carbs all day, then that's not very healthy. And I think even though, like, you know, chocolate and sweets aren't like the best for you, having a little bit every now and again doesn't hurt anyone. Yeah, so that's one thing to say about balance. For example, like I've just said, with diet, it's very important to have a varied diet, and on top of that, it's also really good to have a good work-life balance as well. Make sure to get time when you work, and then a good amount of sleep, and then also spending time with friends and family and loved ones and your brothers and sisters and your cousins, and making sure that you make time for the people who are really special and important in your life, and people who you hold value, and people who you see worth with. I think that's really important when it comes to living your life and experiencing life and all these things. So yeah, that's a really important thing when it comes to balance, because balance is just such an important topic overall. Because if you're not balanced in your like work life or your like social life, it's just gonna be a bit off, and you have to make sure that you give time and you nourish, and you make sure to give time to yourself as well as making time for these other things. Because in life, there's so much to think about. You have to make sure to take care of yourself, make sure to eat and sleep well, and then like making time for your friends and your family, and then work and all these things that you have to make time for. And you know, sometimes it can be like, it can be a lot to take in and a lot to like handle and things like that. And yeah, it's so important to really experience just balance in life. It's a bit like a seesaw. Like if one part is all the way down, the other part's all the way up, and it's not balanced. But if you put pressure on one half and then the other half comes up, and then it will be balanced. That's just sort of like an example that I would use when it comes to finding balance in life. And I feel like when you're balanced, you're more healthy and you will feel better in yourself. And sometimes it's like so sad when you like, you know when you get up in the morning and you don't want to get up to like go to the gym or something like that. But like as soon as you get up and you take that first step, and like after the gym, you always feel better and more energized and more fulfilled in the start of your day, for example. So yeah, that's just a really it's just so important. It's such an important topic when it comes to balance, because there's so many people in the world that say like, oh, you should like put all your time and effort into this one thing and laser focus on it if you want to accomplish your goal. Yes, that's important. Yes, you do need to do that. If you want to accomplish a goal, you need to laser focus and you need to work hard and take it step by step to achieve your goals. But also, I do think, you know, you need, if you're just laser focusing on that one thing and you're not making time for all the other things, then you're not going to be balanced. The same thing as when you get into a relationship. Some people who have gotten into relationships, they do that thing where they put all their time and effort into this one person, and then they might forget about their own life and their own friends. Like, sometimes, you know, when someone gets into a relationship, and then all of a sudden they're not hanging out with their friends as often, that can be an example of not finding balance. And I know, like, when you get into a relationship, it's really exciting and you want to spend as much time with them as possible and you want to, like, build on that relationship. But I do think, you know, be mindful and make sure to not make that relationship your whole life, because if that relationship didn't work out, then you don't have a life outside your relationship, and that's an unhealthy way to live your life. It's all about balance and finding peace and finding harmony in yourself, you know, and just finding, like, just peace and be happy as well. I think, like, a lot of people want to accomplish all these things, and sometimes when you accomplish all these things, it makes you happy, but it's sort of it's only happiness. Like, if you accomplish a goal, you'll feel happy for a certain time until you set a new goal, and then sometimes after you set that new goal, you're not as happy anymore because you think, oh no, there's still so much more I have to do. But then it's like, okay, wait, stop. You've actually accomplished something that you wanted to accomplish. You should take into consideration and be grateful that you did that, and pat yourself on the back, because a lot of ourselves, we're always like so hard on ourselves. Like, we're always like so hard on ourselves, and also it's like making time for different things. So I make time for these videos, for example, and then I make time for other things in my life, and sort of like spreading your life out to like certain segments. So like at this day I make time for this, for that time, sort of having a schedule for yourself to keep on top on. And I know sometimes another thing about schedules is that sometimes you make a schedule, you stick for it for a month or two, and then after a month or two you stop doing it. And that's just, I think that's honestly just normal. Like, everyone, like, you know, at the start of the year they'll go to the gym every week, and then like a few months into it they'll stop and they'll get lazy, or they'll like forget, or something happens, or something else comes up in life, and that's so normal. I think we all go through phases in life, like, especially with me, like sometimes I go through a phase where like I'm dating a lot of people, and then I go through a stage where I'm just living my life and not seeing anyone, and then I'll go through stages where I'm doing a lot of activities like swimming and golf and the gym and meeting up with friends, and then there'll be other times where I'll be more alone and do my own thing and sort of isolate myself and sort of work on my hobbies and my passions, and I think I definitely go through phases as well, and that's sort of something that I need to work on as well. But that's sort of normal. But it's sort of like when you get into a funk, sometimes when you get into a funk, which means like, you know, those times where you're not motivated, nothing's coming to you, you might be in a creative block or something, and you're in a bit of a funk. Sometimes to get out that funk, I normally try something different. Like, I normally put myself into a new dance class, or take up, or do a workshop, or do something different that's out of the norm than my usual schedule to inspire me, so then I can go on in my life and do the things I sort of want to do, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that realistically you should really like just sort of go with the flow, but also just be wary of sort of what you're actually doing, and sort of be self-aware. And if you do get in a funk or you get in a bad habit, make sure to think about that and sort of take steps to move forward on it to get you back on track. And I know we all go through rough times, and sometimes we go through bad things in life and rough times and rough situations, and it makes you completely fall off the road on the track of life. And that's so normal. We all go through hard times, and then when you go through hard times, it's hard to balance everything because sometimes you're just a mess and things. But I genuinely think that, like, if you do get into that funk, like, there will be better times. There's a rainbow around every corner. I promise you. You always think it won't get better, and then it does. And life is like a roller coaster. It goes up and down, and yeah, you'll be in a better place again. It just takes time. It takes time to heal from negative experiences and things that you didn't want to go through, and just trust the timing in your life. And you know, if something's meant to be, it will be. Like, something's meant to be, like, you can't, like, literally it will be. Like, you can't fuck up anything, excuse my language, or mess up. You can't mess up anything that is truly meant for you, because it will end up happening regardless if you want it to or not. So I'm going to leave it there for this video. I really hope you took a lot away from it, yeah, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on this topic, because I'd love to know your thoughts on the topic balance, and if your life is balanced as well, and if you have any struggles, leave them in the comments below, or if you have any thoughts about this topic, please let me know, because I'd love to read them. And this is a safe community for all creatives, artists, and people who are like-minded. And yeah, so make sure to check out all my other videos and subscribe over here, and I will see you guys next week for a brand new video. Love you guys, bye.